Tommy's gonna taste the gin so that you don't have to. Let you save your money, yeah, that's what Tommy wants. Minimal dilution, cause we wanna taste the gins. But if the gins are bad, then we will throw them in the bin. Now let's hand it over to Tommy, who is gonna taste. He's gonna get all rowdy and shout up the place.
Hey up, and welcome back to Tommy Tastes, the channel where I taste the gin so that you don't have to. Money-saving advice, Martin Lewis in the form of gin here. So, what are we tasting this week? I'm proud to introduce Beefeater's Crown Jewel. This was released at the end of 2022, but in fact has existed since the early 90s, but it's been discontinued, then redistilled, discontinued, redistilled, but has been on permanent hiatus since 2009. So this is the ultimate in reboots. This is not Jaws 2.
This time, it's personal.
This is not Piranha 3 Double D.
This time, it's about mindless titillation.
This is not the hideous up-and-coming reboot of Fawlty Towers.
This time, it's completely unwanted.
No, this is the Beefeater Crown Jewel, the original recipe that has been distilled for the first time in almost 15 years. I was lucky enough to taste this at the Beefeater distillery, having bought one of their distillery exclusive bottles, and let me tell you, it was phenomenal. This is the new packaging, the ruby bottle that they introduced at the end of last year, and it is every bit as good. Whether they've tinkered with the recipe, I don't know, but it's still perfect. Beefeater is probably the most beloved of the mass-produced gin market gins, along with things like Bombay Tanqueray Gordons, etc. Now, I'm more of a Tanqueray boy.
Oh yeah, that's so freaking sexy.
But I totally see why people love Beefeater, and it has the highest market share as a result of this. This takes the original Beefeater Botanicals, which are 9 pretty much classic gin botanicals, focusing on the citrus, but also with some almonds, which gives it this weird kind of slightly bitter, nutty character, which is always what slightly put me off Beefeater in comparison to Tanqueray. The Crown Jewel uses 1 extra botanical. Now, nothing terribly space age here. Remember, we're talking about the early 90s when there was basically 4 gins on the market. So the additional botanical that this puts in to make it 10 is the humble grapefruit peel. It's hardly like world beating in terms of its botanicals, but what it does with its botanicals are what makes it so fantastic. Bear in mind, Tanqueray 10 only uses 8 and gets one of the greatest flavours ever. This only uses 10, but probably is better than the Tanqueray 10. This is kind of mecca to gin enthusiasts who have waited for so long to have this gin redistilled. It's beloved by bartenders because of its higher ABV, 50% as opposed to the standard 40% on the Beefeater original bottling, which makes it perfect for mixing. But if the gin is phenomenal neat, then why bother mixing it? And this gin, let me tell you, is phenomenal neat. So let's get it in a glass, and as Beverly Craven once said, heaven will be that place on earth.
Ooh, baby, do you know who sang this song? It's Belinda Carlisle, not Beverly Craven.
So there we go. Nice, clean measure of the Beefeater Crown Jewel. Let's get our nose in there and smell royalty.
It's a glorious evening at Buckingham Palace, at the palace, at the palace.
This is about as classic a nose as you can get. It is juniper forward. It really then leads with kind of the herbaceous, spicy aroma. You get that in bitterness and nuttiness as well. And then really there is this like symphony, which is about the most way you can describe it, of citrus. You get the lemon, you get the orange, you get the grapefruit. It is Just perfect. It's deep, it's dark, it's so well layered, and I cannot wait to taste this.
Because this is such a royal night at Buckingham Palace.
That 50% really is what makes this gin phenomenal. It's really, really pronounced. You get all of those notes that were on the nose following through on the palate. I mean, it's just heavenly. It is exactly what every gin lover out there loves about gin. It's not gimmicky in any way. It's not like specifically flavoured or trying to ride like a bandwagon of any description. I can't believe that, given that gin has had this boom for, the best part of like 5-6 years now, that it's only now they're choosing to cash in on that and redistill the Crown Jewel. So kudos to Beefeater for holding out this long. But this is phenomenal, and it reminds me exactly why I love gin so much. Let's get a bit of ice in there and just see how it stands up to a little bit of dilution. In the glass, as you can see, chill filtered, classic Beefeater style.
We are so thrilled to be mingling with the monarchy
At Prince Charles' birthday ball.
The ice just streamlines the whole thing. It is so beautiful and pure. The citrus that lingers on the finish so much when neat really kind of jumps a bit more to the fore, and you get much more of the spice in the back end of it now.
You are so dirty.
But yeah, I cannot find anything negative to say about this gin. For that travel exclusive market for which this was originally distilled for, they must have thought that Beefeater was the best thing on the world, and who can blame them when the Crown Jewel is this good. Let's just get a splash of tonic in there. I mean, this gin is 50%, it's juniper heavy, so it will cut through that tonic, but why you would ever want to mix this and dilute that flavour, I don't know. This is a perfect martini gin, and this is kind of what it was made for. Like Tanqueray 10, your dry martini with a bit of lemon peel or maybe like orange peel or something would be so, so good.
at Buckingham Palace.
It cuts through the tonic really, really well. But the sad thing is, I get a lot of flavour of the tonic. Don't f***ing bother. If you're not drinking gin neat already, where the f*** have you been? Yeah, okay, drinking a 50% gin's a little tough going to begin with, but come on. Gordon's, you can knock that back neat, that's nice and weak, and then, I don't know, up it to Bombay, that's basically flavourless. Within a week, you're going to be at the Crown Jewel, the holy grail of all that is gin. Get this gin. They will probably not be distilling it forever. I've not seen that it was a limited run that Beefeater did, but given that it's got format coming off the market, I would imagine it's not sticking around forever. My one criticism about this is actually the packaging. I love the original Beefeater Crown Jewel bottle, which looks like this. I mean, that's a hot bottle, right? It's this really weird, unique thing. I mean, this is still unique and everything. And yeah, I get the fact that rubies are like a royal stone, and that's why they've chosen to go with this colour. But that was just a little more unique. Although this bottle, I think it's safe to say, is still gorgeous. And the stopper in there as well, it all oozes class, I have to say. Now, the price for this is £55 approximately, and that's for 1 litre bottle, so 1 litre like you would get in most airports, making the standard 70cl bottle around £40. So it's a bargain, is all I can say. Yeah, it's about a tenner more expensive than Tanqueray 10. Is it a tenner better than Tanqueray 10? Yes, no, it's very, very hard to say. I think it's personal preference. Just trust me when I say that Crown Jewel is, well, it's the jewel in the crown of Beefeater, which is probably why they chose to call it the Crown Jewel. Hey, sussed!
Yeah, like and subscribe, girl.
Like and subscribe. What? Like and subscribe. Work it out.